Right, let's flip the coin, let's check the coin, and let's keep the coin. Alright, getting paid up here. Here we are once again, week 9, and of course it's action coming out of all things. It looks like the Kord division here, and yes, it's going to be the miracle that is, of course, the battle for, of all things, the top in week 9. So you're going to see, yes, it's the legendary here. Two teams here, and yes, it seems to be it's a running theme here. We're going Underworld a lot today, and of course then against the Pro Elves. Now, we're going to see a very different style of play here, of course, because, you know, it's the last game, as we saw, well, Underworld was stuck facing Orcs. This time it's Pro Elves. So, yes, you're facing lots and lots of dexterity. Of course, as usual, here, the RBB has absolutely no reserves. That's not surprising, the way that season has been to his team. Yeah, you can see that right. Not one, not two, 4 loners. He's got 7 core players, the rest are loners. That's an impressive statistic, isn't it? And yet, guess who's on top of the league? Well, the fans are loving this one here. So free rerolls for everybody. So it's going to look like going into the first half. Well, Underworld team's going to be going in thanks to the freebie there from the fans. 5 rerolls. They've even got the Wizard. And they've even brought in Bomber Dribble Snot. Someone talk to that loner. He's defective. He's still alive. How dare he? He's ruining the commentary this week. Well, don't worry. If tradition holds up here, don't worry. The RBB should suffer a death any minute now. Come on. Sometime soon? No, not yet. Well, here's the power of Stunty on Stunty. Ah, well, good throw. And he's earned himself a KO. Of course, now you actually might want to protect this lad. And you just might. Hello? McFly? Well, I expect a very short life for this young lad. Yeah, he's definitely really rolling that one. And by a miracle, he's still alive. But absolutely, you've got to knock the Bombardier down, especially if it's Dribble Snot, because Dribble Snot, of course, has a very particular set of skills that makes him far more useful as the Bomber. That one, right there, accurate. But why is that a big deal, you might ask? Because it negates his stunty when it comes to spiking the ball. Speaking of spiking, quite KO'd, so much for him for this drive. Well, from his viewpoint, he's done his job. He's taken 1 elf yet. It's not a permanent, but you know what? Can't be picky. Actually, no, right, on this broadcast, we can be picky. You suck. How come you didn't injure him? What kind of foul goblin do you think you are? Oh, wait, it's an Underworld team. There's actually Skaven there to actually, improve the rating of the team. So, will this Pro Elf team suffer the blight that happens to many a loner team of having to reroll his loners? Well, we'll see what actually happens this game. Underworld methodically marching down the field here. They're also marching up and down on his neck. And there's another bell rung. And yes, I can see once again here, well, I do hear, yeah, the report says Constable Ed is on his way to the game. He just hasn't arrived yet. That's all that flying. Nothing but the best for the commissioner, but apparently the referees guild. I'm going to go by couch. Well, there's a solid punch down. The ball's free. Has he got it? Yes, he does. And he's gone. Typical the Pro Elf team. Does he actually make the pass? Yes, he does. Absolutely golden. And this is something we have seen several times before. Pro Elves, any chance they get to get the ball, that's it, and Bob's your uncle. Pro Elves are rather calmly thinking, well, they're going to get away with this one, aren't they? Well, let's see what Underworld has. Any tricks under his sleeve? Under his pants? In his jacket? No, really, anywhere. Does he have a trick left anywhere? Oh, there's a push me, push you, but agility 5 with dodge. I don't think he's staying there, lad. Oh, there you go. The power of stunting, and that we trust. More dodging. And yep, parks him right in there. That's a good choice. Would anyone else like to play? How about you? Parks there. Well, a lot of brave, a lot of risk. Looking up the field there. He gets away with the one-die block. Here's the question, do you activate the troll? No, you don't. As long as he keeps the tackle zone, well, you're forcing him to anything but a 1. Well, the Pro Elves do get some blocks away, but they do maintain at least some semblance of a screen. There comes the rest of the Pro Elves running down the field here. Push me, push you. Not sure what he's trying to achieve on that one. And typical Elf here, he decides to change his bloody mind and he takes a different eligible receiver. Because, why not? He's sucking elves. Pushes away from the sideline. Anyone else like to play? Of course he makes the dodge. Definitely not a plague of 1s on him so far. Well, that's a nice change to see considering what's happened to this team. Before anyone goes asking, yes, it's already been guaranteed both these teams are qualifying for the second round. In fact, you're watching the tier, you're basically the tier 1, tier 2 teams. These two have dominated their division quite well, I might add. Of course, some would say with the RBB, it's more of a question of survivors have dominated their way through. The loners, well, so far haven't been a problem. Well, he's stunned. Medical dodge away does not work. Would you like to try that again? Nope, doesn't catch his tail this time. But frankly, where are you going, sweetheart? Do you want to mark him up? No? Solid punch. Well, he's stunned. But frankly, at this point, they've got to be wondering what's going to take to break each other's armor. Lots of KOs, nothing else major. Dodge away from that there, Sunshine. Well, not missing a trick yet. The Pro Elves decide, let's score this one in, get on the board. It's 1-0. The Rocket Man himself has scored the first for this game. Now, Bomb has recovered, but I don't think Constable Ed, now that he has arrived, is going to stand long for that one. Now, there you go. No one's going to argue that call today, because of course that rule's not been introduced yet. And yes, lads, that is an official rule introduced in 2017 for Blood Bowl, but has not been introduced into Blood Bowl 2, arguing the call. RBB, once again, perfect defense. So now they're just showing off. Oh, come on, lads, hurry it up. You have to chill this thing. Oh, that was the good stuff. All right. Of course, fails the catch. Well, there we go. How does the Underworld team want to deal with this? They'd like to actually score. They'll take that, though. Hurting elves, always a great thing in me book, and I do believe for the rest of the entire league. Oh, look, it's more punching. Everyone's favourite game. And it's called Kick the Loner. Now, if you're asking here, what's the skill the trolls actually earned? And that's, of course, Claw. Absolutely spend dynamite against the high armored teams. Fat lot of good against anything else. Speaking of fat lot of good, well, that lineman is, quite frankly, fat lot of good now. But, you know, he's doing what his job is, which is what all good loners do, and that is go and get himself hurt. Well, a much happier turn there for the Underworld team. Yeah, he's off. And he even gets away with a cheeky pass. Well done, lad. And then, of course, he fails, you know, finding his own feet in his own tail. Well done, lad. Well, they've got to keep this game entertaining. Anyone else? How about you? No trampoline? Oh, wait. Spoke too soon. Sorry, Ed's not having any of that one. Look, you already got your injury. You're not getting it. This is the problem when you're dealing with Constable is that FLE, you know, he actually tries and keeps the game fair. His answer is, look, you've already got an injury, stop showing off. Well, Pro Elves team, of course, eligible receiver because, well, the Elves, you always have an eligible receiver. It's just like, you know, Skaven in the gutter runners. You know, he's got Skaven in his team, you should know this one. There's a brave play. Gets in there. He's guts the 2 dice. Has to reroll it. Does get rewarded for the effort though. Oh yeah, it's something go clink and something go bonk. And behold, he's stunned. Ball, however, horrible position. And 2 dice uphill. Right into the claw. Well, you earned that one there, Jack. That's one of those few times where, yes, you have block and he doesn't. 2 dice red. It's the 1 in 3. It's a skull. Well, I can certainly hear the troll here saying, thank you, sir. May I have another? Yeah, if the fans have their way, of course you can. Yeah, lads, I'd like to come up and play this game. Yeah, he's got the ball. Well done. Yeah, another quick handoff action. Now, Underworld team's having quite a Donnybrook of this game here. Finally decides to use a reroll here. Now, that's a clever play. Sticks that one in. Alright, what can the RVB do about this? Well, it's quite a lot, actually. Oh, that was unfortunate. Block on block, not what he wants. And he's brought the Stray back into the match. 1 die, does get it, down goes the troll. Well, when you punch someone there, it's not surprised his bell's rung. Boy, my eyes would have crossed themselves on that one. Well, fun fact as I hear for the next game here. At the Underworld team takes part in, their troll has volunteered to sing the high note in the national anthem. He can do it now. Boy, good thing those regenerate. Well, Underworld, you've got a turn, maybe 2. You've certainly got to get scored. Oh, look, it's everyone's favourite game. Push me, push you. Well, you'll take the KO instead. That's far better. You see, this is always the interesting thing here about any Underworld team. What Underworld team, you know, pretty much shows up at the game? You know, are the goblins pulling off, you know, crazy miracles for you? Or is it all the Skaven doing all the bloody work? And that's an odd one to call, isn't it? It all depends how well your team lives and how many skills you actually get. Good, solid punch there in the front line. And Pro Elves, well, they've only got one last shot at this one. If there's one thing we know about this coach, challenge accepted, he's going to find a way. That's a good start. Clears one out. How's he going to engineer this one? And he finally runs into, of all things, a tackle. There's the reroll. He makes the reroll. One die, and yep, rewarded for his efforts with a skull. Yeah, some days it just doesn't pay, does it? You put off the bloody miracle play to get the poor chap, and then you skull it. Well, that's Blood Bowl for you. It's always a 1 in 6 you're going to fail on any one-die block, even if you're a sucking dwarf. Do you hear me, you sucking dwarfs? Of course, some have said that's the same odds, of course, of an elf failing a dodge. My answer is, of course, when I'm not playing them. Well, good score. Solid 1-1. You're on the board. Well, good thing that lad's come back. And that's a bit of a problem. Clearly, the ordered Evian water apparently has some kind of green sludge in it. Well, that's what happens when they use the Underworld team's urinal as a container. Yeah, that wasn't a pretty thought either. Anyway, well, let's take a look. Can this team do a 1-die touchdown? That's a little tricky, isn't it? But you got to remember, big advantage here for most of the Pro Elves, of course, is all that sidestep. So of all the teams, they actually have one of the easiest ways of doing it. But, as you saw there, all 3 KOs stayed out. He's got 1 injury. Does he have enough players? He's got to have 1 person to go get the ball, so that's going to leave him 6 players to actually, perform the duty. He said duty. And of course, notice 2 of them are fucking loners. Can he do it, though? Well, that's over to meet the challenge, isn't it? Let's find out, shall we, lads? Well, you're not going through the troll, that's for sure. Well, actually, come to think of it, you could try. I don't say it's a great idea. Well, let's see what actually transpires. There's the kick. Well, it's changing weather. And that heavily helps the Pro Elves there. It's a touchback. Well, that certainly makes life a lot more encouraging. Well, he gets a punch in. I don't think he's going for it. Do you? No, doesn't look like it today. What's he thinking? Oh dear. Unfortunately, I think the Pro Elves have a cunning and not so enlightened plan. Also, I would say, you know what? Meet me boot. Well, that one's through, unfortunately. Or was that fortunately? I guess it depends on your viewpoint. Only a KO. Constable led. Quite frankly, he's too busy laughing at that one. He considered that last foul by the Underworld team a bit cheeky. So, you know what? I think he's going to let that one slide. Alright, here's a big one here. Still not getting up. Well, like I said, you really made a bad choice there when you picked that as your water table. So, Underworld team actually in a remarkably strong position in this game. They still have their wizard in hand, of all things. Scores 1-1. And they're actually, to their own surprise, up players. Of course, this being an Underworld team here, it might not necessarily be a good thing. As you can see here, he's got 5 remaining Skaven, which is a good number considering how many they actually start with. He's still got the Troll, and now he has to rely on, well, quite frankly, they're not quite as reliable goblins to actually, do some of the dirty business. And this being an elf team, as you can well understand, the elves teams, well, they're elves. What can't they do? Alright, you know, besides having ego, besides not dress funny, and besides not have to have their hair done. Okay, it's quite the list actually of what elves can't do. I'm impressed. Well, Diamond Dogs, they'll take that one. Free square move away. At this point, yeah, it looks like Diamond Dogs, it's their best option is go for the quick score. Because you got to draw this wizard out somehow. And yep, no surprises. He's away. Very quick break down the field. Play we've seen several times before. Makes an easy pickup. And actually does get the easy throw. Yes, I know it's elves, but remember, I've casted this team before. Any time he actually pulls off an easy pass, it's a bloody miracle. The difficult ones, any day of the week. Easy ones? Ha! You'd think he was orcs. Thinking he's an orc there. Oi! Fell on the grass, did you? Grass blade a little too... Oh, wait, there's a tripwire. Never mind. Guess the goblins are up to their old tricks again. And now you're about to see what the more interesting attempts of a skill. Well, that didn't work. I guess you got to do this the old-fashioned way, don't you? Well, there we go, old-fashioned way it is. Uses the reroll, remembers he's got tackle, gets the player. And does he come in? Yes, he does. Good mark. Now I guess the rest of the team. Well, you might as well mark the whole thing up here. You do outnumber them. Yes, I agree, they're goblins, but it's still, you outnumber them. Even elves pause when they're having to punch goblins. They might chip a nail or something. And don't get me wrong, that was a good play. Just, well, it's unfortunately the biggest problem here is when a troll tries to throw a goblin, odds are it's going to fail. This is why the goblin team used to have ogres. Well, bell rung. And the goblins, shakily, are trying to get more players in to mock the ball carrier. It's a good plan. And that's not the ball carrier, but you've definitely marked him all right. He's going to feel that one in the morning. Ed, yeah, well, yeah, he saw that one. He figures tit for tat, you're off. Oh, I swear, you think this Underworld team was Millwall. And you'd swear the Elves are some other team. Preferably a team that's actually skilled. Well, Agility 5. Not today. Just not today. And you saw that, double failed the dodge. And that's what you got to be careful when the ball carrier is actually trying to make a play. Skaven with wrestle. That's a good choice. It actually works too. And Underworld team here going, good lords. Look, dibs. I saw it. I licked it. It's mine. And I'm certainly revolted by the fact of what that ball's been touching this week. And you're going to lick it. Sigh. And now you're about to see the rather clever solution of how one dodges with sidestep. You don't. Fortunately, I think the crowd's a little bit merciful about that one. They'll just surf him back for a cup of tea. Yeah, meanwhile, an Underworld team is going to try and make sure, you know what, there's plenty more we can surf. He has to re-roll that, gets rewarded with a skull. And suddenly, the Diamond Dogs are wondering, what's happened to this game? It's run away with us. And I can hear you all commenting out there going, how the hell is this the #1 team? I'm going, I'll testify. Yeah. It's not always like this. Maybe that's why we're broadcasting this one, because it's not always like this either. And here come all the rest of the team. Well, I guess, Constable Ed, are you paying attention or you're not even seeing this one? You put enough bodies around him. Let's see if the Constable can see this one. No, Constable can't see it. There's too many people in the way. And he knows some flummery's going on, but apparently he's not calling it because, well, he can't bloody see it. Of course, then again, you know, that's quite like every other referee, isn't it? Can't bloody see anything. Speaking of course AG4 fails. Why would it ever work? Sigh. Now, Diamond Dog's quite sensibly decide not to re-roll that. It's a loner. Why? Castaway Rascals pretty much think they have this one in cruise control. Because again, I'll remind you, they're still holding the bloody wizard. It's been one of those crazy games, hasn't it? Well, let's face it, you know. The apothecary, or lack thereof, for the Diamond Dogs, especially with the drinking water supplied to the team, that's basically been the tale for this one. Hey, I think you're going, sweetheart. He has to re-roll the animosity of all things, but he does get the hand off. He definitely decides he is going to re-roll it and at least try to threaten the ball carrier. And then, of course, well, AG4, you know, why would it ever make a dodge? Yes, I admit, that was a tough one. Well, Skaven, on the sides of this team here, actually realised, you know what, the Goblin's not doing half bad. And you know, he'd like to get a mutation in this one going into the playoffs, so again, it's not a bad strategy. It'd just be embarrassing if it all went wrong, isn't it? Well, he's got the tackle, he'd like to hurt this player. Well, he met a fist, does that count? There's the team, marches down the field. Keeps the player covered, Goblin marching down the field. Drops the pass, of course. That would have been embarrassing. Could have been a certainly great failure. But he does make the reroll, gets the catch, gets the skill point. Which was all he really cared about at that point, wasn't it? It's the power tackle, unfortunately. Does he reroll that? Yes, he does. That player's away. How about you? Now, that might have been the best thing that actually happened to you, lad. You build yourself. Threw himself at the ground, found the grass, and, well, we all know how elves react to grass. Oh, it hurts! Alright. How's Underworld want to cover this one? Well, he's deciding, you know what? If this fails, well, guess what? He's next to a troll anyway. Well, it's a stun. Guess he'll take that. Where's he think he's going? Yeah, right, I can live with that. Anyone else? No? Well, that's just a lot of coverage, isn't it? No, looks like he's going to wait a turn or two. He just wants to make sure this is a sure win. And here comes the rest of the team watching back. Well, you can see the clock's ticking away. Oh, there's a cheeky little two-die block right into the Goblin. Who, unfortunately, from his viewpoint, survives the blow. And of course another one-day block rewarded with a skull because, well, that's his game today. Yep, for you keeping track, that is now the third time. On a one-day block, skull. For a 1 in 6 result, yep, if you've been keeping track, he has now popped that literally 50%. What will you say? You don't read the dice charts. Right. Is there more paying you can do with this team? Well, he's certainly going to try. Well, the lad's down. He's got pretty much everything marked up. He's going to continue screening the ball carrier. And I think he understands the warning he did get from Gospel Ed there. Well, that's just a wee bit shocking, isn't it? And he even loses an armor value. Oh, that's a hell of a way to finish the season. Well, there you go. 2-1 Underworld. That was quite the result there, lads. So, surprising final match coming away out there is Castaway and Rascals pull off the 2-1 win. Of course, yeah, go figure, Bomber for all the UC did steals the MVP for that one there. The Diamond Dogs, well, it's not going to knock up them out of first position, but it certainly gives them yet another rude day, as once again, they can't afford to replace players. Well, we'll see how they advance in the next round, and Nuffle bless you.